A population average is computed across many patients at a fixed point in time. A patient time average is computed along one patient's trajectory over time. These two operations produce the same result only when the patient population is ergodic. For most clinical populations, they diverge substantially. Clinical ergodicity requires that the long-run outcome of one patient matches the average outcome across the patient population. This condition must hold for nearly every patient trajectory. Stationary disease prevalence alone is not sufficient to guarantee it. Patient heterogeneity routinely breaks this requirement. In disease processes that compound over time, the population mean outcome grows differently than the typical patient trajectory. The long-run clinical course of a patient follows cumulative log effects, not average cross-sectional effects. Protocols built on population averages systematically misrepresent individual patient prognosis. Irreversible clinical states break population-level ergodicity. Once a patient enters terminal organ failure, no recovery pathway exists. Transient clinical states are visited a finite number of times. Long-run patient trajectories converge to zero occupancy in those transient states. The patient's time average converges to the value of the absorbing clinical state reached. A patient cohort with mean stable disease prevalence at each time point can still face certain extinction at the individual level when variance is present. Constant mean cohort size and certain individual deterioration are not contradictory. They describe different aspects of the same clinical population. The population average conceals the individual patient's trajectory toward absorbing states. The expected outcome across a patient population does not equal the long-run outcome for an individual patient. This non-equivalence is a formal consequence of irreversible clinical states. When patients are absorbed into terminal states, the population mean is determined by surviving patients, not by the trajectory of each individual. Population average clinical guidelines apply to populations, not to individual patients. These statements follow from the structure of clinical dynamics. No estimation or inference is required to establish them.